morning, Team SISD. My name is Alice Gardea. I'm a school board trustee. I am one of 8 people who work every single day to make sure that you have everything that you need to learn, to feel safe, to be in an environment that is welcoming and that you feel that you can be successful in. So today I'm so honored because I get to read you a story. Many years ago I was a teacher and I got to sit in front of kids every single day, and one of my favorite times was story time. So I'm going to read you a story called The Recess Queen. And I really like this picture because when you start looking at this picture, I'm sure that you can see that, maybe she's a little bit of a bully. But I do want you to keep that in mind, okay? Every person has a story, and I want you to think about that because sometimes people mistreat us and we don't know why. So we're gonna go through this story and then we'll talk about why she was the recess queen. So before we get started, let's give credit to the author. The author's name is Alexis O'Neill, and the illustrator is Laura Haliski-Beath. So we're gonna get started with The Recess Queen. Mean Jean was a recess queen, and nobody said any different. Nobody swung until Mean Jean swung. Nobody kicked until Mean Jean kicked. Nobody bounced until Mean Jean bounced. I like this illustration because Mean Jean looks a little bit intimidating, right? She's kind of scary. And if you look at their faces, they're all looking at Mean Jean because they're not going to do anything until Mean Jean does it first. I wonder what would happen if they did it first. If kids ever crossed her, she'd punch them and smoosh them, lollapaloosh them, hammer 'em, slammer 'em, kids could jammer 'em. Say what? Mean Jean growled. Say who? Mean Jean howled. Say you. Just who do you think you're talking to? Mean Jean always got her way. Until one day, a new kid came to school. Katie Sue. A teeny kid. A tiny kid. A kid you might scare with a jump and a boo. But when the recess bell went ringety-ring, this kid rang zingety-zing. For the playground gate, Katie Sue swung before Mean Jean swung. Katie Sue kicked before Mean Jean kicked. Katie Sue bounced before Mean Jean bounced. The kid you might scare with a jump and a boo was too new to know about Mean Jean, the recess queen. I also like this page because she doesn't know any better, right? So she is going out to play just like she normally plays because she's not afraid of Mean Jean yet because she doesn't realize that Mean Jean is the playground bully or the recess queen, right? So let's see what happens with Mean Jean. Well, Mean Jean bullied her way through the playground crowd. Like always, she pushed kids and smushed kids, lollapalooshed kids, hammered them, slammered them, kids and kid-jammered them as she charged after that Katie Sue. Say what? She growled. Say who? She howled. Say you? She snarled and grabbed Katie Sue by the collar. Nobody swings until Queen Jean swings. Nobody kicks until Queen Jean kicks. Nobody bounces until Queen Jean bounces. And she figured that would set the record straight. Is that okay? Do you think it's okay for us to touch other kids on the collar, even if we're upset with them? There's a lot of things wrong with this picture, right? I do admire what Sue is doing. It takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of bravery to stand up to a bully, right? It's not easy, but it can be done. She figured wrong. Katie Sue talked back. Just as sassy as could be, she said, "How did you get to be so bossy?" Then that puny thing, that loony thing, grabbed the ball and bounced away. Oh, Katie Sue was one quick kid. She bolted quick as lightning. Bouncity, bouncity, bounce. Kickity, kickity, kick. Swingity, swingity, swing. Katie Sue is just a happy kid, right? She's just going out and bouncing balls, jumping, having fun the way that you should be having fun when you're at school. You shouldn't be afraid to be you. You shouldn't be afraid to have fun. You should just be you. Mean Gene thundered close behind. Bouncity, kickity, swingity. The recess queen was not amused. She raced and chased and in-your-faced that Katy Sue. No one spoke, no one moved, no one breathed. Then from her pack pulled Katy Sue a jump rope, clean and bright. "Hey, Jeannie Beanie," sang Katy Sue. "Let's try this jump rope out." Here's one thing true, until that day, no one dared ask Mean Gene to play. But that Katy Sue just hopped and jumped and skipped away. "I like ice cream, I like tea. I want Gene to jump with me." Somebody looks really confused. She's pulling out a jump rope. I wonder what's happening. Gene just gaped and stared, as if too scared to move at all. So Katy Sue sang once more. "I like popcorn, I like tea. I want Gene to jump with me." Then from a side, a kid called out, "Go, Gene, go!" And too surprised to even shout, Gene jumped in with Katy Sue. "I like cookies, I like tea. I want you to jump with me." I think this is the first time I've seen her smile. I wonder why she's smiling. What changed? Why is she why is she no longer bullying her? What happened? What changed? The rope whizzed and slapped, faster and faster. The rope spun and flapped, faster and faster, till it got in a tangled disaster. But they just giggled and jumped again. Well, now when recess rolls around, that playground's one great place. At the school bells ringety ring, those two girls race zingety zing out the classroom door. Gene doesn't push kids and smush kids, lollapaloosh kids, hammer 'em, slammer 'em, kids and kajammer 'em, 'cause she's having too much fun, rompity romping with her friends. Bouncity kickity, swingity, hoppity skippity, jumpity, ringety zingity. Yes. So I want to talk a little bit about what happened in our story. I love this story for many, many reasons. Sometimes when we're surrounded by our friends, we think that kids are being mean just because they're being mean. But I want you to remember, every single person has their story. Maybe for the recess queen, nobody had ever asked her to be a part of their team. Maybe nobody had ever asked her, "Hey, come and play with us." So the only way that she could have any friends was by threatening them, by scaring them. So the next time you see somebody who's being kind of mean, I know that it takes a lot of bravery. But ask them, "Hey, do you want to be my friend? Hey, do you want to play with me?" The worst thing that can happen is that person will say no. But the best thing that can happen is you can make a difference in their world, and they will then have a friend. And they'll realize, you know what? I don't have to be mean to have a friend. So I really hope you enjoyed our story. I really love reading to you. I'm hoping that I can do some more of this in the future, so you all have a beautiful day and read lots and lots of books. Have a good one.